Meeting to order. Thank you. Okay, I'll call the City Council Finance Housing Power Authority to order, and can we have the roll call, please?
This is the roll call for the council and the authority. Councilmember Authority Member Christ.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor Vice Chairman Smith.
Here.
Mayor Chairman Paris. We have a quorum.
Could I have a motion to excuse Mayor Paris, please?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposition? So passes. Chairman Chris, could you take the Redevelopment Agency, please?
A call to order the Redevelopment Agency meeting. Could we do the roll call, please?
Roll call for the agency. Agency Director Harvey. Present. Mann.
Present.
Zetto. Vice Chairman Smith.
Here.
Chairman Christ.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, tonight, everybody, if you could please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. This is Father Charles Threewitt from the St. Andrew's Anglican Church.
Let us pray. Almighty God, send down upon the members of this City Council of Lancaster the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people and all parts of this city. Granted barriers which may divide us may crumble, suspicions disappear, and that our divisions being healed, we may live in justice and peace through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Thank you. And this is a little bit off, but we have a Korean War veteran with us here. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? You can come to the microphone if you want, or stand right there, whatever you'd like.
Those on the service will vote. Those are civilians. Put your right hand to your heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. And Rhonda Perez for a presentation.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council members, Agency Director Harvey. I stand before you tonight on behalf of the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Department, and I'm proud to present to you and the staff as well the 3 CMA Award of Excellence in the category of Special Event for a One-Time Event Boulevard. We received this event, it's a Savvy Award for Boulevard 2010. It means a lot to our city and I think also the staff because this was a first-time event for us. There was a lot of effort to put in, and the community really supported it. So we were very, very lucky, and it's going to happen again on the 29th, this Saturday, and we're expecting a large crowd. We encourage everyone to try and park on the north side of the boulevard. That's where our primary parking lots are. The event will feature many of the same attractions as last year, with a few new ones. We've got spine-tingling tours of the boulevard, which we're really excited about this year. Trick-or-treating, hopefully we will not run out of candy this year. We've got over 140,000 pieces. And
How fast did we go through the 65,000 pieces last year?
We had about 80,000 last year, and they were gone in about an hour and a half, and then we went and cleaned out a couple of Walmarts and got about 20,000 more and still ran out. So hopefully we're prepared this year for a great turnout. Return of Thriller this year is in addition to some Fright Night singers. So there's something for everyone, also something for adults this year with the Haunted House as well. So really proud of this award, and I'd love to invite you to come down for a photo op with the staff that worked on the event.
Councilor, you want to come down and get a picture? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the consent calendars consist of items of routine business for which minimal or no discussion or special presentation is contemplated or required. These items may be acted upon as a whole with one motion, a second, and a single vote. If you desire to speak on an item or items on the consent calendar, you will fill out one speaker card for the consent calendar. You will be given 3 minutes to address your concerns before the agency or council takes action on the consent calendar. All speaker cards must be filled out and submitted prior to the consent calendar being called. The same rule applies if you wish to speak on any agendized or non-agendized items. Following this process will allow to conduct a timely and orderly meeting. There are speaker cards in the back. Anybody that'd like to speak, go ahead and fill them out, and you can turn them up here, and then we'll get going. So at this time, is there anything, any council members or city manager needs to be removed? Either removed?
No, sir, from me.
Okay. So we'll turn it over to Chairman Christ for the Redevelopment Agency.
Do we have a motion and a second for the adoption of the agency minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Do we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Okay, let's vote. It's 3-1 with Ken abstaining. Okay, we're now going to hear a staff report regarding NB1 from our Executive Director, Mark Bozigian.
I believe Barbara Boswell is actually going to give that report. I'm
Do we
going
have
to
any
ask
speaker
her to.
cards on that one? Do you want to waive the report if we don't have any speakers?
Do we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Do we want to waive the?
Yeah, I'll waive the report.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll move that we adopt resolution number 19-11 and amending resolution number 1811.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. And it's 4-0. I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Vice Chairman Smith.
Thank you. Okay, on Power Authority, new business 1, Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker cards on that one?
No, sir.
Is there anybody that'd like to hear the report, or would you mind waiving the report at this time? In that case, not hearing any objections, I'll waive the report at the time and entertain any motions or discussion.
I'll move that we accept the master solar power purchase and sale agreement with Morgan Solar, Inc.
I'll second that.
Call for a vote. Okay, next, council actions, the minutes, council meeting. Do we have any speaker cards in the minutes?
Yes, sir. We have one.
Okay, could you call that speaker, please? And let me remind everybody that you have 3 minutes. The yellow light's going to come on when you have 30 seconds. When the red light goes on, I'm going to ask you to step down. You need to stay on topic. If you're not on topic, I'm going to cut you off. And the topic is the agenda item, so we can hear what any comments you have to say before we make a decision. So go ahead. What's the first speaker?
Well, there's no name on the card, but someone did fill out a card for the minutes, but I have no idea who. Okay, it was Mr. Reeves.
Go ahead, Ms. Reeves.
Sorry about that. Vice Mayor Smith, Council, staff. I would like to make some changes to the minutes. CA1 listed me as opposing to this action, and that was regarding the appointment of Agency Director Cassandra Harvey, in which I recommended that we leave the seat vacant. And all they put down on the minutes was I was opposed to this action. And the people after me, they had extensive comments about what they were talking about. But that's all they referred to, is that opposed to this action. And I would like the minutes to reflect that I opposed the appointment of Agency Director Cassandra Harvey because I thought it would be should be elected position. The second thing on the minutes was on the non-agenda items, and it listed me as discuss potential conflicts of interest. That was referring to Mayor Paris and Councilmember Johnson And the same story, they listed more stuff about the people after me, and all they listed by me was discuss potential conflicts of interest. I think it should be we discuss potential conflicts of interest regarding Mayor Paris and Council Member Johnson. So I would like the minutes to reflect those changes, please.
Thank you, Ms. Reeves.
Okay, thank you.
No more speakers. Do I hear any motions or amendments on the minutes?
Motion to approve M1.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Call for a vote. Okay, we're at the consent calendar. Is there any items that any council members wish to have removed?
Yes, I would. I'd like to remove CC9. I do support it, but since I've just recently been appointed, I'd like to have a little bit of time to ask some questions to the staff regarding this issue.
Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion for the, do we have any speakers cards for consent calendar?
No, sir.
I'll move that we approve the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Call for a vote. Unanimous? Okay, CC 9. Councilwoman Johnson? Yes, you had some questions? What's that? Oh, you want to just continue?
I'd like to discontinue CC9 and have it removed for the next meeting so that I may have the opportunity to ask questions to the staff.
Okay. Dave, can we just table that, or do we need a motion to continue?
You can do either, table it or continue it to the next meeting.
Yeah, if I could have a little more time.
Sure, that
Okay.
sounds good. Okay, we'll table it to the next meeting,
Thank you.
unless there's a dissent. No objection, it's tabled. Okay, new business 1, amendment to the building stimulus program. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers cards on this one?
Yes, sir, we have one.
Okay, Mr. Neal.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and City Council. Tonight, I'm asking your consideration in amending the 2011-2012 Building Stimulus Program, which the City Council approved on July 26th of this year. One of the goals of the Building Stimulus Program is to encourage the completion of housing tracts. I think our program is doing a great job at that. It was brought to my attention, however, that there are some tracts where the builders are not receiving the benefit of the program because of CFDs in place. As you know, CFD is a community facilities district, an area where a special tax is imposed through an action of a local public agency such as a school district or a city or county for the purpose of financing public improvements and services. Typically, bonds are sold to raise money, and the special property tax repays those bonds. CFDs are often used in developing areas as a financing tool for new schools, parks, roads, and infrastructure. But our interest today is really to incentivize the completion of tracts. So in order to do that, staff is proposing amending the building stimulus program by offering a waiver of the building permit fees instead of the reduced impact fee. For the average house, this is roughly a $1,290 reduction instead of the $2,853 currently being offered to non-CFD tracts. I believe this amendment to the building stimulus program will encourage the completion of these CFD tracts that are partially built. So with that, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for staff? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you call? How many speaker cards do we have?
Just one.
Okay, could you call that one, please?
Michael Reeves.
Vice Mayor Smith, Council. I'm not really in favor of giving anybody any breaks in this economy and with the state of the city finances. So I would amend this resolution that the builder has to apply and justify getting a waiver of these fees, not just go ahead and announce it that we're going to give it to everybody that comes along. Make the builder request it and justify that maybe they need the waiver in order to proceed with their project. Thank you.
Thank you. That being said, I'll entertain any motions or discussion for this at this time.
I'll move we adopt resolution number 11-69.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Call for a vote. It's unanimous. NB2, Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker cards on this one?
Yes, sir, we have one.
Okay. Mr. Bozigian.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Smith, City Council members, agency directors. The city has accomplished a lot in an economic downturn in the last 4 years. It's because we've had an excellent council that hasn't been afraid to lead. We have an excellent and motivated staff, and we have an engaged public, and that's been the reason. That's where the creativities come from. That said, and I've said in the past that if you look at budgeting and personnel as simply a math problem, the solutions are easy. You figure out how much you have to cut, you divide by a number of people, and you just say, okay, 20 people, 40 people, 60 people, you're gone, and now we're balanced. That's not how successful cities run. That's not how successful companies run. Companies and cities that are successful value their staffs. And this council has taken a harder road, but it's worked for this city. This council has dealt with reducing staffing and reducing costs by over $7 million a year by doing voluntary incentives, by attrition, and most importantly, by having a really hard hiring freeze. Something the state should have done 4 years ago, and had the state had a hiring freeze, they wouldn't be near the mess they're in. So this council has done it a little harder, but they've done it the right way. As you are well aware, the council again this budget year approved a voluntary separation program where employees could voluntarily resign for the city to pursue other opportunities for an incentive. The incentive would be it'd be 1 week for every year of service up to 13 weeks. As we got into that, we determined that there was a small group of employees who would like to take advantage, and I'd say maybe 4 to 6. They'd like to participate, but it didn't work for them because the way our personnel rules are, if they did it before their retirement age, they would forego 25% of their retirement benefit and 100% of their health care benefit after retirement, which is clearly not the incentive. So we're asking that we amend that to allow them to keep, if anyone who participates, to keep those benefits they've already accrued. The annual cost savings, if we had 6 people, we don't think we'll have that many take advantage of it, would be $770,000 a year, and the cost of that program would be $67,000 a year for a 15-year period, meaning the payback would be about a 16-month payback. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for staff? Thank you. Madam Clerk, could you call the speaker, please?
Michael Reeves.
Vice Mayor Smith, Council. My objection to giving these, I don't know who these people are. Is this a special group of people in the executive department that are requesting this? I don't know. But everybody knows the rules. You know when you're going to retire. You know, I retired early from the VA earlier this year. I knew that I would take a hit on my Social Security. Those are the rules. The rules are the way they are. The people can stay on 2 more years and fulfill the rules. You're going to start a precedent. So we're going to come up here in another 6 months and we're going to change the rules again for someone? No. You know what the rules are. You stick around for your retirement age and then you retire. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or entertain any motions on this?
Yeah, I want to make a comment. I'm a little disappointed. I appreciate somebody coming in from the audience and speaking to both the staff and to the council, but clearly this is when we sit down and take a look at it, it's a win for the employees and it's a win for the city. And I'm proud to say, my length of time here, we haven't had to lay anybody off. And I know cities to the south, to the north, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to open up the newspaper and hear where cities have to cut 50% of their staff. And here we have people volunteering to take an early out. And we're able to, with Mark's leadership, create a workout agreement. And I'm clear this is just best for everybody, both the employees as well as the city, and also to the citizens here of City of Lancaster.
Right, it saves us money on the budget, so we don't have to lay anybody off. So I think it's a win-win, like you said. Any other
Positive
comments?
energy, yeah, very much so.
Okay, I'll entertain any motions.
I'll move we adopt resolution number 11-71.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Call for a vote. Unanimous. NB3. Do we have any speaker cards, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir, we have 2.
Okay. Ms. Boswell.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Smith, City Council, and Agency Director Harvey. The item before you at this time is a resolution that amends our current investment policy. The amendment is needed because of action taken by Standard & Poor's in January 2011 to downgrade its rating of long-term federal debt from AAA to AA+. This change resulted in the city's investment policy us not being consistent with our investment policy, which required a rating of at least AAA. We're recommending a change in language that would ensure that we stay in compliance. We don't believe that the city's funds are at risk in investing. There's still strong demand for them, and they are still a safe investment. It's just Standard & Poor's continuing to go its merry way and downgrade government agencies. So I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions for staff? Okay, could you call the first speaker then? Thank you.
Michael Reeves.
Vice Mayor Smith, Council, I read the whole thing, the old policy on investment of public funds, and I read the new one. I have a few comments to make. The city may engage to support services of outside investment advisors, and my question, how are these people going to be chosen, and are they going to be rotated, or are we going to bid for them, or what? And that's one of the things in the new and the old one. And under diversification, under the new one, they were talking about the different things they could invest in, like U.S. Treasury, the maximum is no limit. The maximum maturity is 5 years. Federal securities, no limit. Maximum maturity, 5 years. CDs, 25% max for 5 years. Money market funds, 20% non-applicable. Boy, these are a joke. I mean, if anybody knows what the interest rates on Treasury and CDs and federal securities, you know, I wouldn't invest in any of these things, and certainly not for potential 5-year maximum maturity. Any financial advisor would tell you not to do it for more than a year and a half. Under the proposal, it talks about the liquidity risk, the chance that a security sold prior to maturity will be sold at a loss of value. For a local agency, the liquidity risk of individual investors may not be as critical as how the overall liquidity of the portfolio allows the agency to do. In other words, you know, if we lose money, we lose money, but that's the way it goes. I don't believe in that. The city has restricted the eligible types of security and transactions as follows. Under the new policy, the AAA bond rating. Now, I don't know if I can ask questions here, but does that mean we're going to do away with the bond ratings? And don't the bond ratings guarantee the security of the investment? I think this proposal, staff needs to come back with graphs and show us how the money's been spent, and put all this in a booklet for the council to read. You're talking about millions of dollars here, and we're going to just go ahead and do this real quick. We need to have graphs and statistics before we vote on this. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Nicole Parson.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, with that, if there's any discussion, or I'll entertain any motions. Yep.
May I address one thing that was brought
Sure.
up, if you may? Every month, as the people should know, we do provide a report on the investment, where the city's money is invested, what the returns were compared to the market, et cetera, and that's been available every month for a number of years on the agenda.
Any discussion or motions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 11-70, rescinding resolution number 11-14.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Call for a vote. Passes unanimously. Mr. City Manager, do you have any announcements for tonight?
Just one. I'm happy to report that, well, some of you may remember that a reporter drove the entire Route 6 this summer, all 3,000 and some miles, making her opinion and visiting different cities and giving her opinion. And Lancaster Boulevard was voted one of the top 10 coolest, prettiest, and most charming main streets in the United States along Route 6. And I'll read, if I may, 2 sentences from that. It says, feathery foliage, parking nooks, cool restaurants, playground, shops, and soon-to-be-open art history museum have rendered Lancaster's newly renovated Main Street a pedestrian-friendly hangout. If you haven't been to this LA commuter town in a while, you'll be shocked for sure. So we're happy to see that, and we're in good company with some other cities there.
Very good. Very, very good. With that, Madam Clerk, you have an announcement, and if you could tell me how many speaker cards we have at the time.
We have 8 speaker cards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for you to address the City Council on any items that are not on the agenda. You'll find speaker cards at the back.
We have no closed session items then. That being the case, Mr. Christ.
We're going to close the redevelopment agency, and it's adjourned till Tuesday, November 8th, 2011.
And I will adjourn the council meeting and all of the agencies until November 8th at the regular time, 2011.